Hey, everybody, welcome to the Psychic Cafe. Come on in, grab your coffee or tea, pull up a chair and join us. We're going to hang out and have a chat here. I'm really lucky today because I've got the whole brood today. I got Ellie, I got Michelle, I got Pamela, and we're like all over Canada and the United States and everywhere. Oh my God. This is going to be so much fun. We are talking about, is it spiritual to make money as a psychic, medium, or tarot reader? Believe it or not, this question comes up over and over and over again, especially with people that are, new to it and they're not entirely sure and they're not sure about pricing their services, which we just did a whole bunch of shows on pricing your services. So this kind of nicely dovetails in with all that. So how's everybody doing?
Good. How
It's
are you
been
doing?
it's been so hot down here. Oh my God, we hit 114 already.
We're only at 59 here.
Yeah, I think let me check the temperature. Oh, we're having a cold wave. It's only 89 right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but a couple of, I don't know, 2 or 3 days ago, we hit 114. And the day before, the day after, we were still like, 109, 108. I'm hoping it'll cool off. But yeah, we are already in there and it's the beginning of summer and you really know it, especially here. Crazy,
Yeah.
just crazy stuff going on. We're bombing Iran. I mean, you know, well, who knew we'd wake up and it's like, oh yeah, we're back in another war. Oh, okay.
Right?
Mm.
I think we've
This
Hi,
been it.
Jimmy.
this from the people. I'm gonna make sure we don't do any wars anymore. Yeah. Hey
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy's in the chat there. Hey, before we do anything else, let me do the card of the day, get it out of the way real quickly here. I got the Four of Cups. Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups in a tarot reading generally suggests a need to reevaluate your current perspective and attitude, especially if you're feeling discontent or unappreciative. It often points out missed opportunities due to being stuck in a rut or focusing too much on what's lacking rather than what's present. So the Four of Cups encourages us to break free from stagnation, embrace new experiences, and be open to the possibilities that surround you. It reminds you to be grateful for what you have and to actively seek ways to improve your current situation rather than dwelling on what's missing. It can also be a reminder to be mindful of your attitude and to shift your focus from negativity to positivity to attract more positive experiences. Yes. So that's what I got today. I don't know if anybody else pulled a card, but if not, that's fine. Okay. So, is it spiritual to make money as a psychic, medium, or tarot reader? Short answer, yes. Okay, we can stop the show now.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye
It was
everybody.
fun. Thanks,
It
guys.
was fun. It was fun. So the thing is, I know you have a loving heart and you want to help people. And sometimes we hear these things online, maybe even in person, you're shamed for charging for your services, and then you start to think, oh gosh, I don't know about this, right? Because you have the loving heart, you want to help people. But what people don't realize is that you can't help people if you don't have the money coming in. You, your needs need to be met. And also, without money, you can't reach the people you're trying to supposedly help, right? There are costs to doing business. There's a lot of bartering going on, a lot of trade-off going on in the industry, people not charging what they're worth. Sometimes it's the outside influences. Well, if you were really spiritual, you wouldn't be charging for your services. Or your own internal block. Do you guys have blocks around money? Most of us do. most of us have this money talk in our heads, whether it came from when we were a kid with our families and, your parents. Uh, Even if they're well off, they might be like, well, rich people are stingy, things like that, or if they're on the poor side, it's like, well, how do they put it? That, well, at least you're happy. Something along those lines. I'm trying to think of what they
Money, they say money can't buy you happiness,
that's another
but
one. Yeah.
but
Hmm.
if you don't have a home because you don't have money, you're definitely not happy.
Yeah. And so you might have your own issues around this, or it might be external. In a minute, I'm going to ask all you guys if any. I should say, where do we get this guys thing? It's like I should be saying, I'm going to ask all you gals, but guys has become the go-to for everything. Or, soon they're going to make us say they, them for everything. Anyway, um,
I called my granddaughter Dudette.
Dudette. Hey,
Dudette.
Dudette.
Yep.
So I'm going to ask you guys if anybody's ever, shamed you uh for doing spiritual services and charging money. But a lot of it also comes from the fact that, we're really into this, we study it, and then we decide, oh, I want to help people and do this professionally. But we never actually get into that mindset that, okay, I'm shifting to doing a business. I'm running a service as a business now. A lot of us, especially in the spiritual arts, astrologers, numerologists, tarot readers, animal communicators, psychic mediums, you name it. We don't make that shift in our mind. And what I often tell my students is to think of it like this: you're charging for your time, not the service. If you think of it that way, even if you have some issues around it, it kind of takes the I don't know, the sting off of it a little bit. If you focus on, hey, my time is valuable and I'm giving my time away. But also in addition to that, there's all the costs of doing business. I mean, think of all the money, especially certain people like Ellie and Michelle, all the money that you spent on decks, books, courses, professional memberships, certifications, business licenses, tax, getting your taxes done. You have to pay for internet, electricity, computers, microphones, cameras, business expenses. Maybe some of you are doing paid advertising. This is not free. you know,
Mm-mm.
uh, the other thing is the more money you have, the more inflow there is, the more advertising you can do, the more people you can reach and help. That's another way of looking at it. Um, Also, just having the funds to directly help people. And then there's the other factor of if your needs are being met and you have enough flowing in, then you can do like we do here on the shows and offer free readings to people that can't afford them, you know. But if your needs aren't being met, you can't even do the free readings, right? That's another way to look at it. Trying to think of what else there was that I wanted to mention. It's normal for there to be an exchange of money. I mean, you would never have the plumber come to your house and you go, uh, you're doing such a good job. I mean, you're almost spiritual in the way that you fix the plumbing. So I'm not going to pay you. Yeah.
Right.
What? What? It's almost that what we do is almost the only industry where it's even questioned. Yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention when I was doing some research on this, one of the videos they mentioned about chakras being blocked around this, as well as belief systems, And it's so funny because I swear we didn't plan this, but Michelle did a whole show on chakras yesterday. So if you missed that show, go and watch it in the archives. So in this video that I watched, they talked about the root chakra
Mhm.
being closed up, not allowing money to pass through. It's your base level. It's survival, fight or flight instinct, being accepted. Then the sacral chakra, thoughts and beliefs and emotions. Do you judge people for having money? Do you think that poor people are happier? Things like that. Then the solar plexus they mentioned. So this is your intuition. This is where your spirit team talks to you about money and gives you ideas on multiple streams of income and how to make more money or reach more people. But if it's closed off, the information doesn't come through. And also, comparing yourself to others, self-worth, um, feeling like you might not be accepted or not feeling good enough. And then lastly, she talked about the throat chakra, speaking your truth. If that's blocked off, are you in the tarot closet? Visibility, that's a big one. And actually, we're going to talk about, wait, I got to bring my notes up here. What's the show we're going to do? How close are you to becoming a tarot reader, a professional tarot reader on the 29th of June? And also on the 6th of July, that Sunday, we're doing 3 things that will improve your readings. And in that, I talk about, in my notes that I wrote down, I want to talk about visibility. We are in the closet, a lot of us. How many of you, have a t-shirt on that says "Got Tarot"? I so want the black t-shirt. And by the way, I've been talking about this for 15 years. I've never got this shirt. I want a black t-shirt, like when they did the milk commercials with the milk mustaches, and black t-shirt, white, bright, big lettering, "Got Tarot?" question mark. I mean, how many people promote that they're a tarot reader? You know,
I
uh,
do.
I mean, a, a lot of people, it never comes up in their day-to-day conversations, out at the supermarket, down at the pub, over at the coffee house, the knitting circle. I don't know what you do, you know, but wherever you are and things like that. Uh, Visibility, do you have business cards that you hand out? And this all goes back to the being in the tarot closet and not being visible, whether it be in person or on your social media. You have nothing that mentions you do tarot. There's a lot of people like that, and this is part of the throat chakra being cut off. You're not speaking your truth. And so you need to open these chakras, was what she was talking about, which I know nothing about. I'm just telling you what I heard on the video. But talk to, get a private session with Michelle, and maybe she can help you open the chakras and listen to her show from yesterday. So have any of you guys,
Lots of information on there.
yeah, have any of you guys actually had people, whether it's online or in person, ever come up to you and try to, spirit shame you, that about earning money?
Not so much not so much spirit shaming me per se, but I know a couple gals that they are just so afraid to charge money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know I'm not ready to charge money for my mediumship because I'm not confident. And if I'm not confident, I'm not going to charge money for something. But that's because I'm not ready.
Mm.
And so I would do free until I'm ready. But that's different than not wanting to charge it all for
At some
spirit
point.
shaming. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the
Well, what I mean
universe
is
wants you
like
to be taken care of, you
what I
know?
mean is like on an on air, can't talk here. What I mean is on an online forum, or Facebook or social media or some
Yeah.
that you get comments, or in person someone comes up to you or something like that. I've heard of that happening a lot over the years. But
Yeah.
this is the weird thing. I've been, I started out in coffee shops doing readings. I do all this stuff online. It has never happened to me. I have never seen it in my comments. I have never been
Mm-mm.
directly messaged about it. I've never
Nope.
had someone come up to me, but I hear it all the time
Yeah,
that
I hear it all the time, but it's
people
never happened to me.
shame people, you
Yep.
know. So, that makes you question yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, the other thing, going back to our uh pricing your services conversations that we've had in the past, this also contributes to people not charging enough. It's like, well, oh
Yeah.
God, is it spiritual to earn money doing that? Well, if I charge 20 or 30 bucks or 40 bucks for a reading, then I guess that's okay. You know, so they never really charge what they're worth.
Yep.
Yep. What about you, Pam?
Actually,
What's your
I
ideas on this?
well, all right. My whole life I've done artwork. I sold my first painting when I was 15. Okay. And because in my mother's words, she makes it look so easy. My mom was constantly volunteering me free of charge to do all kinds of weird and wonderful things for different people, pictures, paintings. Oh, yeah, she can do a portrait of your horse. No, she can't. She doesn't do that kind of stuff. But that's where my dad stepped in. And he sat me down and he said, honey, it is a God-given gift. That was his exact words. And when you have a gift like that, the only way people are going to show their appreciation is money, because unless they're in the barter system, and we talked about that too, like, and I've done horse trading. Well, we talked about that a couple, I think it was show before last Sunday, maybe, about trading a tarot reading for a goat. I needed a goat. What can I say? But at the same time, it was easy for me when I finally decided that, yeah, I'm going to read for the public. This is I'm going to make money here. It was easy for me because I could hear my dad's voice telling me in the back of my head, you've got this. You've got the talent. You've got everything you need. And you're putting your time into it when you could be out earning money doing this, or that. So go for it. You can't, and do not sell yourself short. So, I mean, he was a great person for that. But I mean, I also understood that, when I was first learning to read the tarot, I kept meticulous notes and I would go back and refer to them a lot because I would write down every day what I pulled, and if it was a spread, which position, and then I would write from the one book I had. I actually ended up with two books, but this was a long time ago, like almost 50 years ago. And I would write down, and then over time, as things happened, like, okay, well, oh yeah, that's what that was referring to. I'd go back and add to my notes, and I did that for 5 years because I had no one else to bounce ideas off of. And I thought, well, okay. But when I all of a sudden realized that, yeah, I can do this, I set my price, and I have had people, just, oh, you're a tarot reader, read my palm. What part of tarot did you not get? Well, you can do it, you can do it. Or, well, okay, well, pull a card for me. Okay, well, that's X and so much money. And they, well, can't you just do it? Yeah, I can. Well, you could just do it for me. Well, okay, what do you do for work? Well, I'm an accountant. Okay, do you want to come over and do my books this week? Well, no, I charge money for this too. And once that was established, people stopped being stupid, partly because of my attitude. And I know that's a big part of it. When I was learning massage, I had to do 2,400 hours of practicum, which means I'm going to get paid for 2,400 hours of massage. But that's okay. I was learning. And I figure that's probably what I put into my tarot business as well over the 5 years, or if not more, because it was at least an hour a day. Um, but consequently, yeah, I mean, you've paid your dues. I've paid my dues. And we all have our professional niches. And if you want to trade me, sure, we'll work out a trade. But I don't work cheap, and you shouldn't either. And that's what I tell people. So, I mean, I've traded tarot readings, I've traded massages, I've traded for all kinds of things. For, oh, an electrician that I needed to do some wiring on my house, a plumber, you name it. I've done a lot of trading, but it still has that value to it. So your value of yourself is what really matters. How much do you value your time and attention? Is it, and don't take me away from family and kids. That'd get you hurt. But for the most part, I mean, I'm happy to trade. I am happy um to sit you down and explain it to you. And I swear it has been decades since I've gotten the question, well, what about this? Simply because I don't allow it.
Mm. Oh, Dr. Rose is in the chat. She just says, I have some chickens I can offer for a tower reading, Pamela.
We're in. I love chicken.
Oh, wow. Oh, Nicholas
We
is
even got
here.
permission to have some in the backyard.
I I haven't seen Nicholas for a while, and he said
Hi,
something about
Nicholas.
hi all. Dax, a good question to discuss is the person asks for the paid reading or you offer it? So in chat, I asked him to specify what he means by that. I think I get it, but I'm not sure. Like the person asks or you offer I never offer readings. I wait for people to ask for them. Yes. What's more effective between the two options? Um, yeah, the thing that pops in my head is people like, and we ban them, but popping into our groups on Facebook and stuff and going up and like someone asks something and someone offers to do a reading for them. And I find that to be sketchy as heck, you know. And
Mhm.
I will never offer my services like that, you know. Of course it depends on the situation. Sure, if I'm sitting there at the club and I'm talking to a friend and they're talking to me about having this issue and all the different things, they're trying to quit smoking. Let's go with they're trying to quit smoking, and then we're talking about different aspects of that and things and how hard it is and blah blah blah. And if I think I can help them with hypnosis to quit smoking, yeah, I might offer that. I might say, yeah, I do hypnosis for that, and I found it to be very effective. You know, and but God, most of the time I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't offer to do a paid something service or reading for somebody. I would wait for them to ask. I might mention somehow in passing that I do readings or something, but I don't go around. Would you like a tarot reading? Would you like, I mean, you're quiet, Ellie. What do you think about charging for your services or anything we were just talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just soaking in all the wisdom. I myself don't really go out and do readings as much right now.
Mhm.
I had in the past. It was reading at a crystal shop here at our local mall, and did a
Mhm.
few there, and it was pretty neat. But I mean, overall, I think I kind of enjoy it as sort of a way to help others. I do like to be compensated for my time. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But I also feel like I'm in a position, luckily, I'm very privileged to be in a position right now where I'm not looking at it as a source of income. It's kind of like a, hey, if I can provide a service and be paid for it, wonderful. But I'm not actively going out and, as mentioned, I'm not actually like telling people, hey, I do tarot readings. Do you want a tarot reading? People know where to find me most of the time. They'll
Mhm.
come to me and say, hey, you do tarot readings, right? Yeah, sure. So that's how the conversation starts. But yeah, I guess since I still feel very, very new to learning a lot about the tarot and how to really just trust my intuition and my instincts and what the cards are trying to tell me. I guess I'm still kind of in that phase where I'm like, do I charge this much? Or, just kind of leveling out how much exactly to charge. But I
Mhm.
do at least feel comfortable saying, what I'm charging right now is I'm comfortable with it and I hope it's
Oh, good.
accessible to people.
Yeah.
And because you're charging, then obviously you feel it's spiritual to charge to
Yeah.
do readings. Yeah.
I mean, as you mentioned, right? As with anybody who has a skill or a talent or something that they can offer others, whatever form of payment, whether that be monetary or a trade in services, to me, that's just something that inherently is very human. It's very much I help you, you help me. This is how we build that community with each other. And I don't think it's wrong to charge for readings. It's just
Mm-mm.
if somebody has
Mm.
a hesitation to pay for a reading, maybe it's just not the right time for them, or maybe there's just other priorities they really should be taking a look at to make sure that they're in a
Yeah.
place where they're ready to be able to exchange.
Mhm. Awesome. I also noticed in the chat, Pamela was, I think you were giving that message to Nick. And I swear to God, you are so psychic because I was literally, that was the next thing I was going to mention. That as long as we're talking about this, for all you guys out there that didn't catch any of our shows and are new to this and are going, okay, bottom line, what do I charge? So Pamela put it in there. Back in the day, and that's way back. Um, 30 years ago, we were charging $1 a minute.
Than
Okay?
that,
And then
40
it,
years ago.
and then it went up to $2 a minute. Now $3 or $4 a minute. So that's your basis point. Okay. And of course, back in the day, I was always doing hour-long readings. And I was charging $1 a minute, and it was $60 for an hour long. Now I know I can answer most things in 10, 15, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 tops, So now I'm doing shorter readings, but the price has gone up. So if you want to do a 30-minute reading, if you want, maybe you offer different time amounts. Me personally, I don't like doing that, and I'll explain in a minute, but the average person, they charge by card or they charge by minute,
Yeah.
and maybe they're not really charging per minute, they're charging per reading, a 30-minute, a 20-minute, a 15, whatever it is, 40-minute. But you can break it down into minutes, so do it the opposite way. What's 30 times 3? Okay, so if it's $3 a minute, you should be 30-minute reading, $90. That's average nowadays. And the whole per minute thing, where that came from was, Miss Cleo, Psychic Friends, telephone readings per minute. And now they do it online, and it's still per minute. And and of course, the platform you're working through is taking 50-60%. So if you would normally charge $3 or $4 a minute, most people are charging $6, $7, $9 a minute, because that's the only way they're going to get their $3 or $4 a minute. So that's how you do pricing on, if you're on a service per minute, if you're allowed to charge, charge higher. But for everybody else out there just starting out and wondering, what do I charge? And should I charge right away or not? And people are of two minds on that. Some people are like, well, do some free readings and get some practice. And I'm not against that, but I remember some of my hypnotherapy instructors, I mean, you go in for a weekend training, and like Monday, they tell you, you're charging now. Do not do free readings ever. Sorry, free hypnosis sessions is what I meant. Never do free hypnosis. And the reason for that, there's like multiple reasons, as far as, just making money and everything. But there's a psychological component. If somebody doesn't pay for the hypnosis session, and pretty well, they're not going to get as much out of it. It's called having skin in the game. At least that's what one of my instructors said. You got to have skin in the game. They got to know that you do that session with them to quit smoking, that if they go out to the pub and their friend hands them a cigarette. If they take that cigarette, they just wasted $300 or $400. You got to charge a lot. Now, maybe not in all types of hypnosis sessions, but especially stop smoking. Yeah. And the same thing, it also has this similar effect with weight loss as well. Now, as far as readings, it's still applicable because you're
It
doing
is.
you're doing a $20-$30 reading. I mean, it's a novelty, you know?
And you can get those people, just like you were talking about, who you do one free reading and they expect it. They become entitled. Well, no, it's you've done it before. It's you
Yep.
got to keep doing it, blah, blah, blah. And they hound you and hound you and hound you. Hmm.
So I'm saying not just charge, but you got to charge enough too. There's another aspect besides the psychological, um where the client is more likely to pay attention to what you're saying and take your sage advice. If you're charging, $90, $150, for a session, um the other aspect of that, what was I going to say? um the higher the quality of client. That's another thing that came up in some of our previous pricing your services. You get the tire kickers, the lower you're charging. You know, you get the complainers. The more you charge, there's a lot less of that. Whether you're doing tarot readings or hypnosis sessions with people, it's the same thing. The higher you charge, the more invested they are in the process. I know people, you can find someone charging $75 for a stop smoking session. Mm-hmm. A lot of hypnotherapists now charge at least $500-$600. And then when they get a lot of clientele, they bump it up to $800-$900, and the amount of clientele goes down, but they're still making more money and the quality goes up. But I also know people that charge $1,500, $2,500 just for quit smoking. And they're able to get that money because they, for one thing, they're targeting higher clientele. Like the one guy that does 2,500, he only works with lawyers, and it's like on your 45 minutes on your lunch hour, uh, I'm going to help you quit smoking, and you will never smoke again, and you only need one session. And he's so good at it and has the reputation that people that have the money, they're going to want the best. People that have the money want the best. They don't buy cheap, and so they want to be sure that they're getting the guy or the gal that's going to be able to help them quit smoking, and so they're going to pay the $2,500. And you can still do that in tarot. You're going to get the people that think of it as a joke, a novelty, when you're charging $30 or $40. You have to charge, if you're seeing people in person locally, you have to charge at least the going rate in your town, for say a psychotherapist, 150 an hour, whatever they're charging. A lot of people say to look at massage therapists, but some massage therapists, I mean, if it's a half hour massage and it's $75, yeah, that's not bad. But I know some people that, massage therapists, that really undercharge. We should ask Pamela, because she's a massage therapist. you know But go by the going rates, and if any type of therapy, especially talk therapies, but even massage therapy, Reiki, what are people charging in your area if you're seeing people in person, and you should be charging at least as much as they do, right? Then you want to avoid the race to the bottom. You want to, if on average they're charging 100, it's like, well, I'll charge 80, and then everybody just starts dropping their prices and it becomes a commodity. They call it become a commodity. One of my hypnosis instructors told me, if you're doing, I gotta add in the little nugget that most of us are doing readings around the world via Zoom.
Yeah.
Got to put that little qualifier in. But if you are seeing people locally, one of my instructors told me, go out and find out, what everybody's charging for hypnotherapy in your area, and then charge more. You want to be seen as the expert, even if it's your first day doing hypnosis. None of this, well, I'll raise my rates as I get more experience. No, it's the opposite, which is exactly the opposite of what Michelle said about she doesn't want to charge for her mediumship until she gets enough experience. I know where you're coming from, Michelle. But my hypnosis instructor in that particular course was like really adamant about, no, you charge more than what everybody else is charging.
Yeah.
Don't charge middle of the pack or lower because you're new. Charge more and be seen as experts. Like, well, the guy down the street charges, yeah, but I'm the expert.
Yeah,
even if
exactly.
you're brand new, even if you're brand new, they don't know.
That's
You know,
true. That's
you know.
true.
So that's another aspect of it too. But for me, the biggest thing is the quality of clientele. You know. So any other thoughts about it being spiritual? I still can't believe in 2025, I remember talking about this 20 years ago when we started the Tarot Guild. I can't believe we're still talking about this and it's still coming up, whether or
Well,
not it's spiritual.
and it's ethical for you to get paid because
Mhm.
you are still providing a service. You are still giving of your time. It's ethical of you to accept payment.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it because you're providing a professional service.
Let me see what's going on in the chat because Astrid said, thanks, Pamela. I do readings live and they always take an hour or so because the client often talks too much to give feedback. It all depends on the type of reader you are. Some readers are like, don't open your mouth, don't tell me anything. And they lay out the cards and they go through all this, takes 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And it's like, okay, any questions? And they never get to an hour and a half read.
Yeah.
I hope, Astrid, that you're charging enough. Oh my gosh. Dr. Rose says, I was on Aranum the other day checking out what they do. Yeah, we used to actually promote Aranum at the Tarot Guild. They live stream their readers. Yeah, so it's a very different thing. You go to places like California Psychics. What's the one that Mary worked for? Keen, California
Yeah.
Psychics. You're hitting a website, there's pictures, you pick the person, and it's either by phone or text, or sometimes there's video calls. Aranum is very different. Aranum is what we're doing right now. They are live broadcasting when you are on Aranum as a advisor. They call them advisors. And by the way, I recommend that term too. I don't like tarot reader anymore because I'm not just reading the tarot, I'm advising you.
Hmm.
So as a life coach, I like tarot advisor myself or psychic advisor. But that's
Yeah.
actually what they call their partners on random that work there. They're all independent contractors and they are broadcasting you. You're doing a basically a live show the whole time. You might be on there 8 hours. And a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like that, and it's not for everyone. Don't get me wrong. But when we were really promoting a random, and I still think it's great, it's so much better than these other websites because you go on there and there's just pictures and maybe a bio, and you don't know anything about these readers. But if you're watching and listening to them on their video feed, you get a feel, and
Hmm.
you can go to multiple rooms with these different readers, and you see which one you click with, and then you take them private into a reading. That's how their service works. You don't go on the website, click, and go into a private. You go in and they're up there talking, and they might be giving a little mini lesson on something or talking about a card, or they might be doing all these different things, or uh secretly they're watching the soap operas because they got the camera here, but behind, and their computer, but past that is a little television screen where they're watching The Young and the Restless. And they got a I even I taught our members this. I told them, it's like, okay, you take one earbud, and this was 20 years ago. Wireless Bluetooth earbuds were not as popular or available, really, like they are now. And so I always said, okay, you put your earbud in and you put the wire back through your shirt back this way. And so while you're sitting there, and you could have like software like I do to put this up here, where you're streaming stuff across the screen and you're pretending to play with your cards while you're actually watching a movie. You're watching something. Ghostbusters just came in my head. Ew. I don't know why. Anyway, you're watching a movie over here. They have no clue because you got the little earbud in here. Nowadays, it's even better because like there's Bluetooth earphones that are like don't even have the white thing coming out like the Apple ones. You can get them where they're like in the ear and people don't even know at all that you have something in your ear. And it's great because you can express your personality, and then you're going to get clients that you know click with you. Yeah. What is it? What did she say? They go live stream their readers, but when they go doing a private reading, the stream is mute. Well, yeah, what happens is they take you into a private room. It's just you and the client. I don't know how it is nowadays, but back in the day, they could have their camera on or off, and your channel goes dark. I mean, it doesn't go dark. It tells people going there that you're in a private session. It tells them. Yeah. I like her. Did anybody see any questions in the chat? I think I have to raise my prices. Charging now for a Celtic Cross 55. Is that euros? 55 euros? That's like what? How what's 55 euros USD?
Not the close to dollars. I don't know the difference.
55 euros to USD. Thankfully, Google does all this. $63.39. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I was thinking, that it's more
Yeah.
dollars. Yeah.
15
Uh,
cents.
that's not bad. That
Mm-mm.
that's not bad, Astrid. Now, if you're spending, because she did say it go at least an hour. If you're spending an hour 20 minutes, yeah, that is a little low. Yeah. Yeah, that's back in the days of charging $1 a minute. You should be charging at least $2, $3 a minute. Yeah. Well, figure out, Astrid, figure out what, when average your last few readings, how many minutes was it? 63.2 minutes, take a whole bunch of your last, do you know the times? Are you paying attention? Find out an exact number. My average is uh let's say your average is 80 minutes, and an hour and 20 minutes you spend, multiply that times three. That's what Pamela just said. She was holding up three. Multiply times three. Was there any other comments about this topic? Or
Hi, Michelle.
oh, Michelle came in.
Yes.
Craft order, yeah. Or does anybody have a question? Did anybody put in a reading request? Anybody want us to pull cards? We're coming towards the end of the show here. Hey, real quickly, as we are coming to an end here, let me mention some what did they used to call them? I gotta put my old age in here. Uh Commercial announcements.
Mhm.
They used to call it. If you want to grab
Yeah.
us a cup of coffee, go to psychic.cafe/coffee. That's basically our tip jar. And we want to invite you to join the guild. If you go over to Psychic Cafe, you can register on the website. It's like registering with Facebook. It's free and you get a profile and everything. Join us on the website, join in the conversations. Now, if you want more, because you're going professional, or maybe you want to join us on these live Zooms during these shows, maybe you want to get mentoring, all that's included in our membership. Go over to psychic.cafe/guild. It'll explain on that page, bullet points, everything that you get as a member. And it's basically the cost of a latte a month. Now, if you are a professional and you want to get certified, like, oh, I should do this real quick. Like Pamela just got her certified tarot grandmaster.
Yay!
Woo! Yay,
Just, it was
Pam.
a while ago.
Yeah,
It's been a
I know
while.
it's been a bit, but I thought every once in a while I want to pop that up there because it's cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
it is
oh,
very cool.
go over to psychic.cafe/certification. It explains the levels of certification and how you can become a professional certified persona here doing. By the way, it's open to not just tarot readers. The Tarot Guild used to be for tarot readers. Now we're open to anything psychic. You're a psychic medium or an animal communicator or an astrologer or numerologist. We can evaluate you and certify you. It's not a big deal. Yep. And if you're really new to this stuff, you want to learn tarot and numerology together, take my online self-paced course. By the way, when you enroll in my course at psychic.cafe/course, when you enroll in my course, you get your membership in the Tarot Guild and your certification included free. So you save all that. Yep. And we'd love for you to become a host on our network, psychic.cafe/host. Real quickly, speaking of the network, what's coming up? So this Wednesday, has a tarot reading ever been wrong? This is a question from Dr. Rose. And I thought, oh, that would open a really cool conversation. So we're doing that this Wednesday, Wednesday, June 25th. It'll be our last Wednesday show for a little while. We're still going to have our weekend shows. Michelle's Mystic Corner will be on Saturdays. The fifth Saturday, we'll do a Psychic Cafe Live, and every Sunday we'll be here. But we're taking Wednesdays off for July and probably August because I'm doing some trainings and some things like that. No, I'm not training them. I'm actually going back to school myself. I'm going in some hypnosis trainings and things like that. So this will be the last Wednesday show till fall, till September. Next Saturday, June 28th, is Michelle's Mystic Corner. And if you're a member, if you're joining right now, like we just talked about, you're going to be able to join us live up here on camera on the Zoom during the show and pull cards with us and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Get your questions answered. And so bring your deck. Even if you're not a member, you can be in the chat and pull cards with us. So that's this coming Saturday, June 28th. And a week from today, Sunday, June 29th. How close are you to becoming a professional tarot reader? I saw this out there on YouTube or something, and I was like, that's a great topic. I bet there's a lot of professional, or I shouldn't say it that way. There's a lot of budding professionals, newbies out there that are like not even quite sure if they're ready to go professional. So we can talk about that next Sunday. And I did mention earlier in the show, um, so there'll be a hiatus. Like I'm trying to bring up my calendar here. So we don't do a show on the first Saturday. And remember, we're taking Wednesdays off now. So that no show on the second. So between the 29th and the 6th, there's no shows up until the 6th of June. And on that Sunday, we'll be back and we'll be talking about 3 things that will improve your readings as a psychic, medium, or tarot reader. Yep. So that's what's coming up on the network. Michelle, did you see anything in there? I didn't see any questions. Oh, Dia just came in.
There's a couple if you go up a little bit further. Oh, where is it?
Well, if you guys see them, read them out. Let us know.
Drops of Jupiter, a universal message, please.
Okay. Who wants to pull cards on drops? It's a general. And
I've
then
got mine out if you guys are ready. I'm ready.
go ahead.
Okay.
I'll look for more questions.
Um, mm, okay. And you, okay. And anything else? Okay. Huh. Okay. Hi. You got 3. I pulled 3. Now the first one is the 10 of Cups reversed, which means you've got some family issues you need to be focused on. And particularly if you have children, look at what children are up to, pay close attention. Somebody's not happy, somebody's upset. It's going to be a process. And I kind of think it has to do with some type of growth situation. The Knight of Pentacles, it's a good card, like it's in the upright position, and it indicates that there's going to be movement concerning money, business, or something like that. Okay. Or it could be a young man whose business is on his mind, or a young person. It doesn't have to be a man. We all know that if we've been around the court cards long enough, they kind of flip whatever. They don't care about gender. They just care about what they're telling you. But make sure that you're paying really close attention to what's going on with your family, because they're not everybody is not happy. But that being noted, you also got as the final outcome card, you got the Ace of Swords. Now, the Ace of Swords penetrates matter and informs it. It's like the swan that can separate milk from water. Go deeper, go clear, and by this fall, because this is the timing card that I'm using, by this fall, so September-ish, things should be clear. The way forward is lined in gold, and your absolute truth and the clarity of thought is amazing at this point, and you will achieve a type of victory with this. But start with the family, okay? Because that's the most important thing in your life right now. Next.
Next. Uh Dia has a question. Carrie came in. Carrie's wanting, may I have a love reading, particularly my relationship with initial N? Does anybody want to tackle that one about the relationship? Dia, meanwhile, Dia is asking about a YouTuber that she follows, and they haven't been, I guess, publishing videos the last month or so, and he isn't even contactable. Could you please connect to the universe and let me know when he'll be back? Okay. So
Okay.
I pulled cards real quick. I got the 3 of Cups. Okay. There's celebration going on. Also, I feel like he's working on his business. I don't think anything's wrong. So just real quick there, I think everything's okay with your YouTuber friend. And I got the Magician card, the 1 card. I think in about a month he'll be making new content. Okay. Anybody else
Okay.
pull on that on Dia, or did someone pull on Carrie? The
Let's
relation?
see. I got Tanita.
Yeah, she wants a general message, but before that was Curry.
I
Oh,
think think Ellie's got Carrie on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Ellie, if you've got
You've got that
Carrie.
love relationship one, don't you? Or which one?
I
Go ahead.
don't know. I pulled a card, I think, on the timing of the YouTuber who is out and about and not
Oh,
on.
go ahead.
So I just pulled one card real quick. I got the Four of Pentacles. So it just kind of feels like this person is in a period of time where they're just recharging their energy. They're just kind of gathering themselves again. Time, energy, resources. They're just kind of recalibrating. There's a lot going on, so they feel like it's time to kind of withdraw and just recalibrate, thinking their game plan along. Um,
Cool. What's the
Okay.
what was the next one?
Let's see. After Dia was Tanita.
Yeah, Tanita wanted a general.
Okay.
And is anybody doing carries? Uh, may I have a love reading, particularly my relationship with initial N?
I can.
You want to do that?
Okay.
Pamela, do you want to do the general for Tanita? General.
Okay. So for Carrie, what is going on with your relationship, especially with regards to relationship with N? Okay, so when it comes to this relationship, you need to dig a little bit deeper. You need to really see where this relationship is going, because I feel like you might feel like it's going on the downslope, like it's deteriorating a little. So it's time to look at this relationship with an analytical eye. Okay, is this gentleman looking at you as a gift? And are you looking at him as a gift? Because that's what needs to happen. So, what you need to do is find someone who can treasure you as much as you treasure them, in a way that will make you feel like you are complete, even though you complete yourself. Always remember that. They just make you feel like you're complete. And that's what you're looking for. You want someone to make you feel like you are the gift to them. So that's who you need to be looking for. Okay.
Awesome. And real quick, Ellie, could you pull some cards for Astrid? They want a love message on love 2 also. Is anyone special coming into my life? And then Pamela, you were going to do the general for Tanita?
Yeah, I think I just did.
Oh, you did already? I don't
Well,
know.
I don't, well, okay. No, who did I do that one for?
I don't know, but it was before Anita Tanita. Yeah,
Oh, it was
Tanita.
before okay, then I can, yeah, okay, Tanita. This is who it's for. This one's for, because I did pull some cards.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh my God, we get so confused. Oh, it's old
I'm
age.
gonna start writing stuff down, I swear.
You better.
Mm.
Anyway, the first card I pulled is the Queen of Wands reverse. Now, she's telling me that there's some things are not going as smoothly as they could be. The changes that you're expecting, the changes that you're wanting to happen, lose the word want. Okay, first of all, lose that word. Use the word choose instead, and start going back to what your traditions are telling you, not what other people are telling you. Ignore them. They're not on the same page, the same wavelength, or anything. You need to dig deep and find what traditions work and serve who you are. And then that brings a type of joy like you've not known in a very long time. Okay, because the sun card represents that, and it will make all the difference in the world. So stop listening to the gossip. Follow what you know is true and right for you, and stop wanting anything. Choose to fill in the blank. Okay. And above all else, don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry, be happy.
Yep. Simple.
So I'm putting the link to our next show into the chat there. Tanita says, "Thank you so very much." Yeah. Ellie, what cool stuff did you get for Astrid? And then
all
we're at the
right,
end of
so
the
we
show.
got, oh, All right, Astrid, real quick. So we got a little bit of a message here for you. Please bear with me. It's a couple cards. So first and foremost, where you're coming from, where you're currently at, we have the Six of Swords. So this definitely feels like it's an energy of trying to move into a new chapter. It's letting go of what no longer serves and just saying, I've learned lessons. I kind of know what I want. I'm kind of gaining traction in like what it is I'm moving toward. And that Six of Swords is really about allowing ourselves to move over emotionally from one chapter to another while still retaining the lessons that were learned, but not letting them sink our ship, right? It's not like sitting in this regret kind of energy of saying, oh, I should have done this, should have done. Now it's more like, I understand now what I want to move toward. So you're powering forward out of this kind of bummer energy, but where you're headed. Now, this is interesting. Please let me know how this resonates. So these two cards came out together. This is the Five of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. So this almost feels like you're just kind of saying, you know what, whatever happens, happens. Still kind of like a little bit heavy on it because it is the Five of Cups, which generally is that card that reminds us that there's a lot of change going on. There's still good things to look forward to, but right now we may be too heavily focused on the things that haven't been going right. Now, with that Wheel of Fortune, I feel like that's also a sign from the universe. Keep in mind, sometimes things happen when we least expect it. When we feel like we're on that downturn with that Five of Cups, that wheel may start to spin in the opposite direction when we least expect it. It's really about being open, right? Being open to the good, which is those two cups that haven't turned over on that Five of Cups card. Now, how you'll get there. This is an interesting card, and fear not, the Devil card. So the Devil card, again, is that card that tells us we're hanging on way too tightly to things that we're just really like refuse to let go of. Maybe not refuse, honestly, maybe not refuse, because we do have that Six of Swords. But just hanging on to something out of fear, out of comfort, out of saying, but this is what I want. This is what I must have. Sometimes it takes letting go of those expectations and just saying, you know what, Wheel of Fortune, let's go ahead and just see what comes up. In the meantime, highly recommend being in that energy of giving yourself the love you want, right? Being in that energy of, if somebody comes to me and I don't like that they talk down to me, make me feel small, not standing for that anymore. That's not what I want in my relationship. Somebody comes up like that, nope, you put a stop to that energy right away. So again, they're not trying to compete with another person for your love. They're competing with the love and peace you have for yourself, first and foremost. So always remember that. Feels pretty good. Feels like there's a lot coming for you in the future. Just really hang on to that, you love yourself first and foremost mentality. And I think you should be good with that Wheel of Fortune, hopefully spinning up a beautiful surprise for you there. So hope that helps.
Awesome. We lost Michelle. There she is.
No, we didn't.
She's back. She's back. So we're gonna end the show. You guys all stay on here because I want to do something after the show. Anyway, I gotta edit the beginning of the show, I think. Yeah, yeah. So join us on Wednesday. Has a tarot reading ever been wrong? 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. That's all we have time for today. If you're enjoying our shows, go over grab us a cup of Java there. Yeah. All righty. We'll see everybody Wednesday. Thanks for everybody being here, especially Ellie and Pamela, Michelle. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.